I am a teacher at a local secondary school in Elgin. Although I'm a PE teacher, it's always been something that I'm very interested in terms of just doing lots of things in the outdoors. I'm very active in doing outdoor adventure, and I understand about sort of educating someone holistically and bringing things become a lot more alive once they're outside the classroom, in my opinion. And I've recently had the opportunity to teach 1 day a week in an alternative curriculum at school for kids that are struggling with kind of mainstream timetabled lessons. And I have been taking a little group to do some bike maintenance, and I'm looking to then take them and other groups perhaps into the local forest and do a little bit more, make some fires, put up some tarps and develop sort of life skills for them, and hopefully develop skills in them like that they're going to then take into the classroom again and be able to continue their sort of more formal education. So this sort of seemed like a natural course to do to develop that area for me, and so then I'm a bit more experienced and a bit more trained up basically. I've often sort of made fires and slept outside and made shelters and put up tarps, things like that, but I feel like although not some of that stuff isn't totally new to me, and sort of tree identification, things like that, it's this little add-ons that have been like a little knot that I learnt that I hadn't come across before, which is like, oh brilliant. And then there's been quite a few little foraging. I sort of would pick berries and things like that, but I didn't know much about mushrooms, and there's so much sort of expertise. What's really been really interesting is that there's so much expertise within the group, and so the tutors have been almost like facilitators. It's not just like they're the fountain of knowledge and we're just getting all that knowledge from them. It's everyone sort of pitching in, and as an educator for the last sort of 10 years, I'm able to input my expertise as well, and my experience of teaching primary and secondary school kids in a variety of different experiences. So it's been really interesting in that way that we've all sort of fed in, and I've picked up lots of little tidbits. And so the things that I'm weak in, like flora and fauna and sort of bird identification and things like that, I know that those are sort of areas that I probably need to go away and look at. And although I really enjoy the practical element and being out in the woods, and there's been some really quite lively debates in the classroom setting, and we've sort of gone off at different tangents. I sort of feel sorry for the leaders trying to keep us back on track, but because I think there's so many like-minded people in a room together that have all chosen to do this course, that obviously have an interest and a passion in the outdoors and in the environment and sustainability. And so we've gone off at wild different tangents and talked quite in depth. It's been sort of quite exhausting actually, because at lunchtime we're still talking and debating about local sustainable foods and like how we bring up our children and those kind of things. So yeah, it's been really interesting, and I have also really enjoyed this sort of communal fire that's happening at the moment with its little tripod and cooking on there. That's sort of my favourite thing to do in the woods. So yeah, it's been nice. Brilliant. I'd like to hope once I've completed this course and gone back to school and started to try and take my own groups out into the forest, hopefully I'm going to be able to develop in them more of an awareness of what's around them and what's on their doorstep, and that they can have. You just sort of spend hours in the woods doing this kind of thing, and you never really look at your watch. You just sort of time just passes, and I think I would like to get some of my students to kind of appreciate and experience that, and maybe just also develop a love for the environment that's around them and looking after the environment. And obviously these are really big topics at the moment, but if they're seeing rubbish and in the woods and they understand that that's going to have an impact on the habitat, hopefully they might decide to pick something up or think twice before they drop litter, and they might then take that back into their own school community and after lunch, as opposed to just dropping it on the grass and letting someone else pick it up, which is a bit of a bugbear for me. They might go, actually I'm going to put that in the bin. I would strongly recommend the Wolt. I think for people in Murray, it's obviously a great local course. I was surprised to see quite a few people on the course from all different parts of Scotland, and a few from England as well, so it's obviously starting to get a reputation and a well-known name. It's quite a full-on course, there's loads and loads of elements to it, and whether you're starting from a really basic knowledge and kind of experience, or you've got quite a lot of experience in certain things, I think you can always pick stuff up on the course, which is brilliant, and add to your knowledge, and just building a network of other people that are in that industry as well, that are like-minded. Hopefully I'm going to keep in contact with them and be able to utilise that resource in the future. So yeah, no, I would definitely recommend the Wold, and I quite like my wife to come on board as well. Our children both go to Earth Time in the woods in Duffus, and they love being outside, and she also helps and volunteers there, so I think this would be a good course for her to go on to.